when I was in school, my teacher restrained me because she gave my book that my mom bought me out of the book fair, and the teacher restrained me for no reason because I asked the kid for my book back. And she was verbally to me, and she just came up to me and described me and threw me on the desk and restrained me and was hurting me, and I was telling her that when she was hurting me, if she would stop, and she wouldn't. And she threw her knee in my back and she slammed my head on the desk. And I don't think a teacher should treat a third grader like that, or treat any kind of child like that. And I was scared, and I didn't know what I did wrong or anything, just for asking for my book. And then she takes me away from my mom, and I have this social worker that's coming to me in school for no reason when me and my mom pull up and tells me that he's taking me from my mom. And then he comes to my house and with the deputy for no reason. I didn't do anything wrong, but want my book that my mom purchased for me. And the teacher had no right touching me like that and hurting me and lying and saying that my mom was abusing me and hurting me and not taking care of my diabetes when I just became diabetic. And I was 9, just turning 10. And we didn't know anything about my diabetes or how to take control of it. I had to lock myself in the bathroom because the nurses and the teachers were being mean to me and abusive to me. I had to sit on the floor and put my feet on the ground because when they did my insulin injections, they were hurting me and they didn't know what they were doing. She's supposed to be a certified nurse, and she wasn't certified at all. She was pinching my skin really hard and really thin when you're supposed to grab your skin in a fatty tissue and not like this, and hurt me with a needle almost breaks off. And I'm only like 9, 10 years old, and the nurses should know how to do insulin injections if they're supposed to be called nurses. That's what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to go to school and know what they're doing, not hurt the child, especially me, at a young age. They should be supposed to be gentle and keep me calm. They didn't keep me calm. They scared me and put fear in my heart, where I had to sit down and lock myself in the bathroom because I was scared, because I didn't like how she was giving my insulin injections and doing my blood sugars. She didn't do anything right. And then I got taken away, and my social worker, Alebate, he was a okay social worker, but my foster parents lied with the school and said that I was hallucinating and hearing voices and I was going to kill myself. And then they put me in a mental hospital, Lawson. And when I went there, there was really crazy people there, and I wasn't crazy, and it made me mentally insane. And that's why they say that I have borderline schizophrenia, is because when I went in there, the staff there were mean to me. They strapped me down in an ambulance at the mental health in Palmdale. I don't remember exactly what streets, I was so young. And then they gave me a shot in my side right here for no reason, because my foster parents lied and said that I was hallucinating and stuff, and they didn't treat me like they treat my foster brothers and sisters. My foster dad tried raping my little foster brother. His name was Nicholas, and I tried to protect him, and I got thrown into the sliding glass door and out the window. I told my social worker, and they lied, and they had money, and they just replaced everything like nothing happened. And then he tried to rape me, and I kicked him in his balls, and then I got beat ever since. Then they finally switched me to foster homes, and I went back to McLaren Hall. And her name was Joetta Doris and Paula Doris. That was her husband. And it made me kind of mentally crazy, and I'm homeless right now because the management at the park didn't want to take care of the sewage. His name is Carmelo and Robin, because I'm dyslexic and I have a second-year adrenaline level and I don't really understand things. And the school never taught me anything because the school district's messed up because of what happened with the foster care stuff, with the system or whatever you want to call it. I don't really understand the system or anything when the judge talks to me A7 or comes at me with these big words, because I can't read and understand very well because the school didn't want to teach me. They make me feel like I'm retarded when they try to teach me cursive. They make me feel like I'm like illiterate, like stupid, when I know I'm not. They just didn't want to take the time to teach me how to spell and read, and I don't even know how to write cursive. I barely know how to do my name. I don't even think I do it correctly because the teachers didn't care. All they wanted was money, and they said, well, I'm the special ed teacher, and you're illiterate, and you're dyslexic, and you have to have a tutor and stuff, and make me feel like I'm in nothing. When I know that I can read and do better, that you just have to teach me. I have to learn differently. And it's embarrassing to tell somebody that I'm in special ed and I can't read or write, and I'm on Social Security, and I'm also on SSDI because of my disabilities. And I would like to work one day, and I could barely read a menu at McDonald's. And that's embarrassing. And I'm 24 years old. And the school didn't teach me, and I have difficulties, and I'm embarrassed every time I want to go eat somewhere. I know how to do math really well because I taught myself that, but I only know my times tables. They didn't teach me nothing no higher. Every time I went to a next grade up in school, they would teach me like 2 plus 2, like division, and they'll teach me the same stuff that I've already been taught. And this is at Lancaster High School, and the teacher that was doing that was named Mr. Salinas, and I had a probation officer too named Mr. Mendez, and all he would do was yell and cuss at me and stuff because he wanted me to have good grades and A's and B's when I'm in special ed, and if I didn't get that, he'd violate me and he'd lock me up, knowing that I'm in special ed, and I didn't have no, like, I'm not very, they didn't want to teach me any of these things, and they were mainstreaming me in classes that was hard, and I was giving it everything I got. And I still got locked up. And he knew I had problems and learning disabilities. And when I fought and tried to do everything I could to get good grades, just to try to show them that I'm trying, and knowing that I don't know how to do this, not knowing how to do it, because the teachers didn't want to take their time and sit down and teach me something when they're half-asses. That's what I'm calling them, half-asses, because they just were there for the money. They should have gave me 100% and not 30% of their time. And it didn't matter. And especially in McLaren Hall, I was in McLaren Hall in the AB unit, the staff there didn't treat me right. They made me mentally crazy, and my foster parents did too. I've been in a mental hospital 5 times from my abusive foster parents for no reason, and I took medicine that I wasn't supposed to take because they lied, and they were the parents, and they had power over me. And I don't think that the judges should have let me be taken away. They should have looked at the facts and the paperwork and let my mom go in the courtroom. My mom had all the paperwork to prove that she's a good mother, and my mom is. And all they did was try to mindfuck me and tell me bullshit, excuse my language, and tell me things that weren't even true and didn't even make any sense. I may be special ed, but doesn't mean I'm dumb. I understand people. I'm smarter than they think. I'm very smart. They can't tell me I'm stupid. The teachers literally said, "You're stupid, you're retarded. You have to listen to what I have to do because I'm your special ed teacher and you're in my classroom and you're going to do what I say." And I told them, "Forget you. I'm not stupid. I'm smarter than you think. You just don't have the time, and you ain't giving me the time to teach me how to spell and read and write. You're picking favoritism over these kids because you like them over me, and you have some kind of judgmental problems. You should teach every kid how you treat them and not be such judgmental. You should treat them how you treat those people and not treat us less than them because you like them better. Because their parents are good with you and they're rich and they got money, just because our family doesn't have very much money and we're poor. And I have to live off Social Security and all the damages they done. By the time I got out when I was 18, I'm lucky that I have a steady mind because I've been through McLaren Hall placements and the staff there. I caught the staff raping female young minors when I was in the dorm. I was sleeping, my bed was outside because they had beds on the outside on the right and left hand side, and then they had rooms, and then for the kids that got the most points, and I should have been going to the special dorm where they had I guess they call it the game room, or where when you have good behavior you go back there. I was a very good behavior and I was treated like I was nothing because their parents had money and gave them money trying to fight for their kids back. And then I seen lots of people's parents give up because the system doesn't know what the hell they're doing. All they think is what they want you to think and what they want you to hear from their mouth, and they want their point. They don't care what you have to say. They just want you to hear what they got to say. It's self-centered. I don't like self-centered people. You should love and care for everybody. If you're going to treat one person good, why don't you treat the other person good? And treat them nice. And because the judge has favoritism because he thinks he's got all this power and everything, and he's Mr. Glory Guy when he's not, and all he's doing is breaking the kid's heart. He broke my heart and made me feel like I was a little ant when my mom didn't do nothing wrong. It was the teacher's fault. She's the one that hurt me and did all that damage and lied about everything and put me in a foster home, then McLaren home, then all this stuff because I was just diagnosed with a juvenile type 1 insulin-dependent diabetic, and the doctor didn't prescribe me the right insulin when he should have did blood work, and they're supposed to know all this stuff when they do blood work. They check your heart, your kidneys, your liver. I was only 9 years old. My stepdad Keith had to carry me in the hospital. I almost died. I woke up with my leg strapped to a 2x4 and this catheter thing. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it goes on your private so you could urinate because there was something wrong with my liver because they didn't know what was wrong with me, and then they finally figured out that I was diabetic. They had some kind of tube going in my leg up to my heart, and they had to bring my blood sugars down very slowly, and I was in the hospital for a whole month with this in my leg, and I had to learn how to walk and all this again. I'm supposed to be mentally retarded from it because it did so much brain damage and it put pressure on my brain, and that's what I learned myself. I got books and I had to teach myself how to read, and if I didn't understand the word, what I do now is I got a Webster dictionary, and I learned how to do it, and I used to have a smartphone that would tell me the definition because I can't really read that good or understand or comprehend anything because the school district didn't want to do their job, and the system don't even care. It seems like they just care about money is what I've realized, and I'm not too smart. I got 2.0 average because I got tired of the school telling me I'm stupid trying to prove them wrong. And I'm trying to get into college and I can't even get into school because of what happened. I gave them everything they needed, all my IEP stuff, and they never called me or anything. And when I go in, we didn't get this paperwork. When I sit there and gave the person the paperwork from my own hand, and it was very hard for me to do because I didn't know how to get it. I had to go to certain places from the school district. I'm not sure exactly what they're called, but it's like the main offices of the school district. And I went to those places, and I had to sign for it to get my paperwork for the schools, and showing that I'm special ed and that I have learning disabilities and that I have problems understanding things. And anyways, the system isn't in line. They're all scrambled. It's like putting a CD in it and having it be a mix instead of a straight. They're not even in order. It's like, I don't even know what the hell they do. It's like, for me, it's like a totally different language. It's like when I go in there, it's like, I don't even know what they're talking about. And they're saying, oh, he understands. I don't understand a dang thing you're saying to me. You're sitting here telling me something that's crazy. It's all because of school and the system messing me up. And I can't even understand what they're talking about. I have problems reading and writing. It's embarrassing. I feel like I'm a loser or like I'm nothing because I can't read. And people say, oh, you can read. I know I can read if I was taught. I try to read every day, try to practice from all the brain damage that they did to me. It made me mentally ill. I started cutting myself in high school because of the teachers, how they made me feel. And that's how it made me feel better. And going to mental hospitals from my foster parents put me somewhere where I don't belong. And when I'm taking pills I don't need, and then when you take them, now it's made me where sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night, I see thousands of spiders, and it scares me. And they flash, and they look real, like the real black widows. I don't understand, and then sometimes I hear voices from it. But I learned how to control it a little bit, knowing that they're not real, and I talk to God, and sometimes they go away, and sometimes I don't. I have to breathe through my nose and count to 10. And sometimes it just doesn't. And there'll be times where I'll be sleeping and I wake up and I can't move my body. I can open my eyes, but I can't move. Because I worry about everything. Like, I didn't have a childhood because of these people. And it's nervous for me to talk, but I'm doing it because it makes me feel a little better, because there should be something done about it. Because now I can't, because I had staff try to rape me at Mid-Valley. That's a placement in the valley out here. It's called Mid-Valley. It's a placement where they have the child molesters on the bottom, and then they have the regular people, the special ed people, and the people that have mental problems in the middle. And then they have the one on top. I had a staff try to pull me in the bathroom and pull my pants down, and I kneed him in his balls, and there was an open placement, and I left. My friend had to help me. He grabbed the staff and he took his shirt and he put it around the dude's neck and choked because he's trying to hold me down and rape me. That's what I mean. They need to have background checks and better and fingerprinted, at least like they do when you go to jail. They fingerprint you, palm print you, and know everything about you. They need to do that for people that have jobs like that, because that did a lot of damage to me. That made me go mental. That made me lose my mind. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it made me go crazy. It did a lot more damage when I was in this everything. That's all I got to say.
Well, I'd love to see you when you aren't nervous, because you did a fantastic job and expressed yourself very well. And
it's just hard because
you need to.
It brings back memories, and it's hard for me to block when you can't block something, and it brings flashbacks from the damage from being in a mental hospital and medication they give you. And when you think about the questions you ask, it kind of brings me back to the time and place where I was at from the medication they gave me that I wasn't supposed to take, and it's going to be there for the rest of my life.
obviously very smart. I can tell that. We all can tell that. And
They tell me, no, I can't. And I say, yes, I can.
I know you can.
I tell them I love myself, and I think you don't love yourself because you have hate problems and you should open your heart up more and be more loving. I tell them that I may not be able to read the Bible. I say, God says, shall not judge. And my mom taught me that. And because I can't read and I don't understand the Bible, and when I do read it, it's different too. It's not like the court system, because the court system's messed up. It's like messed, like a bunch of CDs scattered everywhere. The Bible's like better than anything I've ever known. I may not be able to read, but I could go to church and listen to the pastor and listen to the words he says. And if there's something I don't understand, I'll ask him, and he'll have the patience and time to sit there and tell me and where I can understand it. Instead of a messed up school teacher or messed up judge that doesn't have their priorities straight, that's all scrambled and ain't in order.
You know, this learning disabled, that doesn't
mean I'm stupid. It just means I learn differently.
you're
And
100% right.
I learned that. It took me a long time to learn that, though.
The scientific statistics show normally dyslexic or any person with learning challenges are normal to high in IQ.
Yep.
So you can learn, and you are not learning because you don't. They just deprive of you right,
That's right.
and they have not given you the opportunity. But you are still in time to be able to learn to read and go college.
You
And
know
it's
what?
a law who will protect you on that.
Yes,
You know what I
you
would
did.
like in life?
You did.
And my daughter is also
Excellent. That was
dyslexic.
awesome.
I would like to know what happened to the attorney that was fighting my case and said that he could beat my case and that I would get lots of money for the school messing me up for all the mental damage he did. I know that they're called Fighting for Children's Rights, and that's all I know. I think this guy left and took the money and beat the case, and I never got anything from it. And he was supposed to fight for me and protect my rights and do his job. And I think that he was, I don't know, Mom, do you know his name? Michael Smith.
Where's Michael Smith with the money?
I don't know. I think he ran and left it, and when he was supposed to protect my rights and do what he said he was going to do in the first place and do his job, maybe he's a lousy, what do you call it? No, I think he was a DA or something, was with the school district and was acting like he was an attorney, is what he makes me seem like. He didn't protect my right to do anything he was supposed to. How are you going to say you fight for children's rights and you didn't protect me and you didn't do what you're supposed to do and help me where I can have at least a normal life and be able to do something in life? I don't really mention this much, but I don't really care who knows. But I got sick with a virus. I don't care, I'll just say it anyways. I got HIV from a girl that had it from some guy who had full-blown AIDS, and I was supposed to marry this girl named Sarah Myers. I don't care what people say. She's a liar. She shouldn't be doing drugs and lying to me, and I didn't know about it, and not tell me that she had a virus when I could have went and got a latex condom. I may not be very smart, but I know that the latex is the only condom that can prevent any sexual transmitted disease. Because I don't know why. It's just the only condom that the other ones don't work. They ain't made right or something. They have defects like the judges. I must say it's true. They're defective.
You make these fabulous analogies.
It's true though.
Judges are like bad condoms.
Yes.
You want to say, quiet everybody, you want to say that for me?
Yes, sir.
Judges are like bad condoms, they got leaks. Yeah.
Judges are like bad condoms that have leaks. And it's like they don't know what the hell they're doing. They leak like a raindrop in a broken faucet because their head's broken, They don't think straight. They're self-centered. They think for themselves and what they want. They don't care about society and people and people's kids. They only care about their family and the money that they make, and for everybody that they could throw in jail and everybody's family they could break. It's like dominoes. They all fall. When God comes to get us, they're going to be judged by Him, not by us. They're going to have to deal with the consequences and have to face God. And because when He does come, they're going to have problems. They're probably going to burn in hell. I don't know. It's up to God. I can't make that decision. But I know that when He does come, they may not believe in Him, but He will be here. And they're going to have to deal with the consequences. And that's on them, not on us. Nobody's perfect in this world, but gosh darn it, you don't got to be that hard. You should have a little bit of heart and look at the facts. Not make your own facts up and BS and make up your own rules. It's like they think that they could just make up anything they want. It's like a video game to them. I got this power, so I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to take your family from you and break your heart. I wish they could get their family taken away and have you treated like they treat us and see what it's like. Maybe if they went through that experience, they would understand. But they won't ever, because they got so much power that it's not even funny. I don't even think they need to have judges like that. They need to have people who have love and care, not destructive and destruct families and make their families destructive instead of building them up and build people's self-esteem up. Because that's what people need, self-esteem and love and care. Not sit there and destroy stuff like a crazy person that's mentally ill and giving them the wrong medication when they know they need to take something and they're in a mental hospital. Because I've seen it, I've been there for stuff I didn't even need. They're giving me medication that I didn't need at all. And they made me insanity where I'm borderline schizophrenic, and I have to live with that for the rest of my life. There's nothing I can do about it, all because the system didn't look at the facts and didn't evaluate me right. Just like them people that are mental health, the mental health doctors, them too. Those people need a reality check big time. They prescribe a medication to people that don't need it, because I'm one of them. And they messed me up where sometimes I can't move and I'm stuck, and I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm seeing all these spiders. I can't move my body because of the damages they've done, and it's going to be there, and I can't do anything about it. They need to be better doctors too, psych doctors, because just because my foster parents said that I was hallucinating and I wanted to kill myself, they believed them. And they didn't listen to me because I was underage and I wasn't an adult and I didn't have no rights. And the rights were the guardians, and the guardians are the people who say and supposed to love and care and take care of you instead of destroying you and abusing you and giving you, just making you go crazy because of things that they try to do to you. They need to get their fingerprints checked and have a reality check too, because there's a lot of foster parents out there that are rapists and child molesters, and they're not in the system because they haven't got caught. But they need to have more DNA checks on all the kids. When the kid says they do something, they need to listen to the kid, because 99% of the time the kid is telling the truth, especially about being raped. And there's ways of being checked for that, because they got DNA checks. They got doctors that can sit there and do physicals on the kids, and they need to do that. When the kid says it, they need to do it right then and there. The social worker needs to get on his job and do what he's supposed to do, instead of wanting this money and being greedy, because he ain't taking that to heaven. He sure ain't taking none of that to heaven. He may have money and enjoy himself now, but I guarantee when the time comes, when he dies, he's going to have problems, because Jesus is going to be on that. But I believe there is a God. I don't know if his name is Jesus or what, but I know there is one, because I feel him sometimes with the Holy Spirit. Sometimes I feel him, and I don't, like when I feel like there's a bunch of demons holding me down, because you can't see him. like Paranormal Activities. That's a real movie. This lady gets dragged out of her bed. If there's demons like that, there is a God. You gotta think about that one. You can't see air unless it's cold because of steam and the heat that comes out of your mouth. And I learned that in school, and they say you can't learn. I taught myself. It took me a long time, a very long time, but I got it down, and I learned it, and I can remember. It's from the heat, and then when it's cold, it creates steam. And steam also creates clouds and rain when it builds up from the heat, because when the heat comes up, it creates steam, and then it's also called evaporation. It evaporates and it creates clouds and then moisture, and then after a long time of that, then it creates clouds, rain clouds, and then it pours. And I've been in special ed since 3rd grade, and I taught myself all that because the teachers didn't have the time to do it. It took me a couple years to get it down, just to remember that, but I did it. Because I believed in myself, and I love myself, and I look at myself in the mirror, and I tell myself, yes, I can. And those teachers are full of BS. They're liars. I'm serious.
Kenny, we're going to call it a wrap. I would like to have my photograph taken with you.
Yes,